It's been about 2 months since our dad passed away, and life has felt very different ever since. My siblings and I are still learning how to deal with the loss. It hasn't been easy at all. There are moments when the grief feels heavy, but we're doing our best to stay strong and keep moving forward, just the way Dad would have wanted us to. Our dad had built a business years ago with his hard work and dedication, and it became a big part of his life. After he passed, my older brother and I stepped in to take care of it. We've been managing things together, trying to carry on what he started and keep the business running the way he would have liked. Our younger sister, on the other hand, is focused on her own business, which she had already been running before all this happened. She has her own path to follow, and we respect that. Thankfully, my brother and I both studied business in college, so we have the background and knowledge to handle the responsibilities. On top of that, every summer we used to work as interns at Dad's company, so we gained hands-on experience. Because of that, we feel more prepared now to step in and take care of things during this difficult time. Shortly after my dad's passing, we were unexpectedly contacted by his estranged sister, Jenny. I called her estranged because our family had cut ties with her many years ago. The reason for that was the man she chose to marry. At the time, this guy was already married to someone else. And on top of that, he was an abusive man. Despite all the warnings and concerns from the family, Jenny went ahead with the affair and eventually had children with this guy. Eventually, the man's wife found out about the affair and decided to confront Jenny directly. Instead of showing even a little bit of regret or remorse, Jenny screamed at the woman and then attacked her, beating her badly, almost as if she herself were the victim in the whole situation. The wife didn't stay silent about it. She went to the authorities, and as a result, Jenny was arrested. The woman also got a restraining order against both Jenny and the man she had married. When our family learned about what had happened, it was the final straw. Everyone cut ties with Jenny completely. Jenny ended up serving 8 months in prison, and during that time her children were taken away from her care. Our grandparents stepped in and have been raising the children ever since. Even after Jenny was released from prison, she didn't return to take responsibility for her kids. No one had heard much from her over the years after this incident. So you can probably imagine our shock when Jenny suddenly decided to reach out to us. She insisted that she only wanted to offer her condolences about Dad. She pleaded with us to meet her for lunch. At first, we didn't know what to think or how to respond. The idea of sitting down with her wasn't exactly what we wanted. Still, after some hesitation and with quite a bit of reluctance, we finally agreed to meet her. When we finally sat down for lunch with Jenny, she wasted no time sharing what she called her sob story. She told us that she had been working on turning her life around, and that she had finally come to realize the mistakes she made all those years ago. According to her, she had managed to get sober and was now trying to stay on the right path. She explained that she was actively searching for a job so she could start saving money to buy a house. Her big goal, she said, was to get her children back. Jenny told us she had already spoken with a lawyer, and the lawyer advised her that if she could show she had a stable job and proper home, then she might have a chance at regaining custody of her kids. She described all of this as her opportunity for a second chance to finally be the kind of mother she should have been from the start. As we listened to Jenny, we couldn't help but feel a little sympathy for her. We told her that we hoped she could follow through and reach her goals, and that maybe things really could get better for her this time, but then the conversation suddenly took a turn we weren't expecting. Jenny looked at us and asked if we could hire her at Dad's company. My brother and I were caught completely off guard. We hadn't seen that coming at all. She went on to plead her case, saying she was quite a hard worker, and just needed someone to give her a chance. She explained that because of her criminal history, no one else was willing to hire her. Since we were family, she felt it was only fair that we be the ones to open a door for her and give her the opportunity she couldn't find elsewhere. My brother was the first to respond, and he tried to stay calm but firm. He told Jenny that he really didn't think it was a good idea. After all, we hardly even knew her anymore after so many years of no contact. On top of that, he explained that this was a very delicate time for the company. Dad's passing had left us with a lot on our shoulders, and the business was still finding its footing. We couldn't afford to take any risks by bringing in someone new, especially under such uncertain circumstances. But Jenny wouldn't let it go. She insisted she would not disappoint us, that if we just gave her the chance, she would prove herself. Wanting to at least soften the rejection, I spoke up and said maybe we could consider setting up a proper interview, just like we would for any other candidate. That way, it would be fair and professional. To that, however, Jenny quickly pushed back. She shook her head and said there was no need for an interview because, in her words, we're family. To her, that alone was enough reason for us to trust her and hire her on the spot. Jenny didn't back down. She kept pleading with us, saying over and over again that we were her last hope. She assured us multiple times that we wouldn't regret giving her this chance, and she poured her heart out about how much she missed her children. She said she couldn't bear the thought of them growing up to hate her for never even trying to win them back. As she spoke, her voice broke, and soon she was in tears. Watching her cry stirred something in me. Part of me still had doubts, but another part couldn't help feeling sorry for her. Against my better judgment, I found myself softening. I've always been someone who believes in second chances, in giving people an opportunity to prove themselves when they're genuinely trying to change. And in that moment, seeing her vulnerable and pleading, I allowed myself to hope that maybe Jenny deserved that same chance. It felt risky, yes, but in my heart I wanted to believe that she was capable of change. So I told her that I would give her a job, but with clear conditions. I explained she could work as my assistant for now, strictly on a trial basis. After some time, we would review her performance and only then decide if she could have a more permanent position in the company. The moment I said that, Jenny looked overjoyed, and she thanked me over and over again as if I had just given her a lifeline. My brother didn't look pleased with the decision at all. I could see the frustration on his face, but I quickly assured him that I would take full responsibility. I promised that I would personally train Jenny and keep a close eye on her work so that she wouldn't become a risk to the company. When I spoke to my sister and mom about it later, they didn't object either. Their stance was simple. As long as I was the one taking responsibility for Jenny, they had no issues. Looking back now, I can't help but wish I could go back in time and slap some sense into myself for making such a naive decision. I realize now that I had trusted her far too easily. Blinded by sympathy and my own fragile state of mind after Dad's passing, I genuinely believed her tears, her words, and the picture she painted of wanting to change for the sake of her children. At that moment, I thought I was helping her take a step towards making amends. Instead, I was walking us straight into trouble. Because it turns out that Jenny was actually trying to steal from us. One night, our security team caught her red-handed after she broke into my office in the middle of the night. She was rifling through my desk drawers, searching for company papers and sensitive information she could pass along to our competitors. When the guards confronted her, she didn't go quietly. She tried to fight them off and kept denying their accusations, insisting she had done nothing wrong. But there was no denying what had happened. We had CCTV footage that showed her clearly going through my drawers, desperately looking for anything she could take. Thankfully, we've always been careful with how we store our important documents, so nothing of real value was kept in the office. My brother and I were both furious. We scolded her harshly, making it crystal clear that what she had done was completely unacceptable. My brother especially made it known in no uncertain terms that we had no choice but to involve the police. There was no way we could let this go. That's when Jenny suddenly dropped to her knees, pleading with us not to report her. She begged over and over for forgiveness. Between sobs, she explained that a competitor had reached out to her almost immediately after she was hired, offering money if she could get her hands on our company's documents. She claimed she was so desperate for money that she thought taking the papers wouldn't really hurt us. She tried to downplay it, saying that she had been greedy in the moment and didn't truly intend any lasting harm. But my brother wasn't buying a single word. He yelled at her, calling her a snake, and told her that this behavior was exactly why no one trusted her, not the family, not anyone. Jenny pleaded that if we reported her to the police, she would be arrested again, and this time she could face an even harsher sentence. She begged us to consider her children, saying how embarrassed and hurt they would be if this happened. She claimed that she had just gotten distracted and insisted that she now fully understood her mistakes and would never do anything like this again. My brother and I stepped aside to talk privately. We weighed the pros and cons of pressing charges. Legally, she had committed a crime, but practically, we realized that involving the authorities could make things far worse for the company. Our investors were already on edge after Dad's passing, and news of this fiasco could completely destabilize everything we had been trying to manage. After careful discussion, we decided not to call the police. Instead, we fired her immediately. We made it crystal clear that we never wanted her anywhere near the company or the family again. Jenny left that day in tears, humiliated and defeated, her pleas falling on deaf ears. Now, after all this, I thought the nightmare was finally over, but it turns out that Jenny has decided to sue us. That's right. The woman who was caught red-handed breaking into our office, trying to steal, is now suing us for discrimination, claiming that we fired her unfairly. AITA if I decide to destroy this woman's life and get her arrested again. I feel bad for her and her children, but I am at my wit's end and feel exhausted by her actions. Update 1. Wow, I honestly did not expect this many responses to my story about Jenny. Reading through all of your comments and messages has been overwhelming. You guys have asked so many questions, and I realize now that I probably left out important details or didn't explain some things clearly enough. I feel a bit nervous putting all of this out there again, but I think it's important to clear a few things up and answer the most common questions. Question: why did you hire Jenny in the first place, knowing her history? Answer: honestly, I wasn't in the right state of mind at the time. My dad had just passed away and I was emotional and vulnerable. I genuinely believed her story about wanting to make amends for her children and turning her life around. I thought giving her a chance at the company could be a way to help her, and I trusted her because she was family. Question: why didn't you call the police on Jenny? Answer: we thought about it, but we were concerned about the company's reputation. Our investors were already nervous after my dad's passing, and we didn't want this scandal to destabilize the business. Instead, we fired her immediately and made it clear she was no longer welcome near the company or our family. Question: on what basis is Jenny suing you? Answer: she claims discrimination and says that we fired her unfairly. Essentially, She's trying to twist her firing into some kind of legal wrongdoing on our part, despite being caught red-handed trying to steal company secrets. She's basically doing this so she can get more money from us. Question. Does Jenny really stand any chance of winning? Answer. No, legally her case is extremely weak. She was fired for legitimate reasons, breaking into our office, attempting theft, and violating company trust. There's clear evidence, including CCTV footage, so her lawsuit is unlikely to succeed. Question. How is your family reacting to her lawsuit? Answer. My brother is furious but fully supportive of taking legal action. My sister and mom are also backing us. They're angry and disappointed that she's even trying this after everything she's done. Everyone agrees that we shouldn't have trusted Jenny in the first place. Question. How is the company doing now? Answer. Despite everything, the company's doing okay. My brother and I are managing it together, and we've been careful not to let Jenny's actions affect daily operations. Of course, losing Dad was hard. And dealing with Jenny's betrayal on top of that has been stressful. But we're keeping things stable and continuing to grow cautiously. Question. What steps are you going to take next? Answer. We're going to consult a lawyer immediately and prepare a strong defense. Our plan is to make it very clear that her firing was completely justified and that her claims have no merit. We're determined to protect the company, the family, and our reputation. I hope this answers most of the questions that have been asked to me in the comments. I will update more later. Update 2. This week I received an unsettling message from Jenny. We had already blocked her everywhere else, phone, email, all social media, but I completely forgot that I had never added her as a friend on Facebook. That small oversight allowed her to reach me there. She sent me a friend request along with a short message that made my blood run cold. In it, she said that she won't give up and that this is just the beginning. Reading those words, I felt a mix of fear and frustration. Even after everything she's done, it seems like she's still determined to cause trouble and make our lives miserable. As for the rest of the family, everyone knows by now exactly what Jenny has done. Suffice it to say, my grandparents and the rest of our cousins have confronted her directly, giving her a piece of their minds and making it very clear how disappointed and angry they are. Jenny's own children have also made their feelings known. They have made it clear that they want nothing to do with her and that they are embarrassed by her actions and by who she has become. It's a sad situation, but it's also a reflection of the consequences of the choices she has made over the years. I'm honestly relieved that Jenny has finally been exposed for who she really is. At least now, she can't fool anyone into believing that she has somehow changed, or that she's trying to be a better person. The truth is clear. This woman has shown her true colors over and over. She is not someone we can trust. She will always act this way, and for the sake of our family and our company, she needs to stay far away from all of us. It's a hard but necessary reality to accept, and it feels like a weight has been lifted, knowing that everyone around us sees her for who she really is. Update 3. It's been a while since I last updated here. First of all, my brother and I have hired a top lawyer to help us handle this situation with Jenny. We are no longer planning to just defend ourselves. We're going to countersue her. At this point, we are done being nice or showing any kind of mercy. What she did was completely unacceptable, and she needs to face the consequences of her actions. We want to make sure that she is held accountable for everything she tried to do. Breaking into our office, attempting to steal company information, and betraying the trust of the family. Our plan is to take every legal step necessary to make sure she is punished properly. We also want the authorities involved in this time so that she could potentially be arrested and face a serious sentence. This is no longer just about the company or the lawsuit. It's about ensuring that someone who behaves this way cannot just get away with it. In addition to dealing with Jenny, we also had a meeting with our staff and investors to update them on what's been happening. During the meeting, we announced that we are going to sue the competitor who tried to steal our company's papers. They had absolutely no right to interfere with our business, and we want to make it clear to everyone how dishonest and shady their actions are. Our lawyer is very confident that we will win this case. It turns out that this competitor has a history of trying to pull the same kind of stunt with other companies, and they have even been fined before for it. With that kind of track record, it's clear that they were acting illegally, and we are determined to hold them accountable. This is about protecting our company, our employees, and our reputation. We are taking all the necessary legal steps to make sure justice is served. Meanwhile, Jenny keeps sending me messages from random email accounts she creates, clearly trying to harass me. I haven't bothered replying to any of them because engaging with her would just give her what she wants. However, I did show these messages to my lawyer. He says that Jenny has made a huge mistake by continuing to harass me like this. She is giving us even more evidence to use against her. Now, in addition to the original case, we have strong grounds to countersue her for theft, defamation, and threats. This makes our position much stronger and increases the chances that she will face serious consequences for her actions. Update 4. Since the last update, Jenny's behavior has escalated into crazy territory. Since our entire family has blocked her and is ignoring all her attempts to contact us, she has started to show up near our office and at other locations she knows we frequent, seemingly hoping to force some kind of confrontation or talk. Each time she has tried, my brother and I have immediately shut her down. We have made it very clear that we have nothing to discuss with her and that she is not welcome anywhere near us or the company. It hasn't stopped there though. Some of our staff members have reported that Jenny has tried to talk to them directly as well, presumably to get information about the company or to influence them in some way. Fortunately, everyone has stayed professional and reported these incidents to us, rather than engaging with her. Even though she hasn't physically harmed anyone, the fact that she keeps showing up and trying to approach us and harassing our staff has made it incredibly stressful. At this point, I just don't understand what she even wants from us. Her behavior has become completely erratic and unhinged. One day she's sending frantic emotional messages pleading for sympathy, and the next she's aggressive, threatening, or trying to manipulate anyone who will listen. It's like she's constantly shifting between guilt-tripping us, trying to intimidate us, and playing the victim. She's relentless. Every attempt we make to shut her out, she finds another way in. It's clear that she isn't thinking rationally anymore. Her actions have crossed the line from mere harassment into full-blown obsession, and it's exhausting having to constantly anticipate what she might do next. Update 5. Hey everyone, it's been a while since I posted an update here. The last time I shared anything was about 7 months ago. Things have been extremely busy on our end, so I hope you can forgive the long silence. Finally, after months of legal battles, we have won the battle. Not only did we successfully countersue Jenny, but we also took on our competitor and came out on top. The relief is indescribable. After all the stress, fear, and chaos they caused, justice has finally been served. Jenny, after everything she did, breaking into our office, trying to steal company secrets, harassing us repeatedly, and spreading lies, has now been sentenced to prison. Knowing that she is finally being held accountable for her actions is a huge weight lifted off our shoulders. It's hard to even describe the sense of closure this brings, not just for me and my brother, but for the whole family. We no longer have to worry about her showing up unexpectedly, harassing us, or trying to interfere in our lives. As for the competitor, the outcome has been equally satisfying. After facing our legal team, they realized they had no chance of winning and ended up making an under-the-table deal with us. They agreed not only to completely back off and stay away from our company, but also to pay $1.5 million in damages for their illegal and unethical actions. That money isn't just compensation. It's a statement that attempts to sabotage our business, and it will not be tolerated. It's proof that fairness and lawfulness prevail when you fight for what's right. The entire process has been exhausting, nerve-wracking and stressful, but the results make it all worth it. My family and I are very happy with the outcome. For the first time in a long while, we feel safe again. Our company is secure, our family is protected, and those who tried to hurt us are finally facing the consequences. It's a huge relief to see that justice has been done and that the people who tried to manipulate, threaten, and steal from us have been stopped once and for all. Update 6. Thanks again to everyone who's been following this story and leaving comments. This will be my final update, as I don't want to talk about this anymore since the legal matter has now been resolved and I want to move on from this topic. I've received a lot of questions since my last update, so I am answering them here for once and for all. Question: did Jenny ever show genuine remorse at any point? No. The moment Jenny lost the case in court, any pretense of regret completely disappeared. She screamed at us, yelled about how unfair everything was, and even tried to physically lash out before security stepped in. Her behavior in court showed everyone there that she was not only unrepentant, but also volatile and dangerous. All of her previous claims to us about wanting to change or make amends were completely false. She was never truly sorry and had no intention of behaving responsibly. Question: what exactly did Jenny get sentenced for? Answer: Jenny was sentenced for multiple offenses, including breaking into our office, attempting to steal company secrets, harassment, and defamation. The court took her repeated attempts to contact and threaten us seriously, and her prison sentence reflects the severity of her actions. Question: can Jenny appeal or come after you again? Answer: while she technically could try, the countersuit and her prison sentence make it extremely unlikely. We also have everything documented: the emails, messages, CCTV footage, and reports from staff. So legally, we are in a very strong position. Any further attempts from her would likely only make things worse for her. Question: how did Jenny's children react to her sentence, and what about the rest of the family? Answer: Jenny's children have been very clear about their feelings. They want nothing to do with her and are embarrassed by her actions. They've seen firsthand how reckless and manipulative she can be, and they've made it clear they don't want her in their lives. As for the rest of the family, everyone has been supportive of us throughout this ordeal. My grandparents and cousins confronted Jenny directly at different points, letting her know exactly what they thought of her behavior. Everyone agrees that she has crossed every line possible, and they are okay with her getting punished for her actions. There's no sympathy left for her in the family. Her repeated betrayals and attempts to manipulate, threaten, and harass us have made that very clear. Question: how are you doing now after everything with Jenny? Answer: honestly, me and my family are finally starting to feel a sense of relief. The constant stress of dealing with Jenny's harassment was really taking a toll on all of us. But now that she's been sentenced to prison and legally barred from contacting us, we can focus on healing and rebuilding. My grandparents, my sister, my brother, and I are all more united than ever. Question. How is your company doing after all this? Answer. The company is stable and actually stronger now. The lawsuit against a competitor and the damages we received helped not just financially but also in restoring confidence among our staff and investors. Everyone is aware of the situation. We've taken extra steps to protect sensitive information so nothing like this can happen again. Question. Did this whole situation affect your company's reputation with clients or investors? Answer. There was some concern initially, but after we decided to countersue Jenny, we were transparent with investors about what happened and how we were going to handle it. The successful lawsuits and strong measures we took actually reassure them that we're serious about protecting the business and maintaining integrity. Looking back, dealing with Jenny has been really stressful and exhausting for all of us. It was scary and upsetting at times, but in the end, justice was done, and our family and company are finally safe from her. This whole experience has taught us a lot about trust, staying careful and protecting what matters most. Even though it was really hard, it has made our family stronger and closer. I hope anyone reading this can see that even when people try to hurt you, standing firm, keeping records and getting the right legal help can help you win. Now we can finally relax a little, move on, and focus on building a future Dad would be proud of. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.